welcome to our latest Gemini Rogues World of Warships Legends video. This is Tier 1 Weymouth British cruiser. This is an awesome ship on paper, but yet... Anyway, give us some information first.
History-wise, it was made by Armstrong of Whitworth. We've heard that name before.
Newcastle.
From Newcastle, so that's where the ship was laid down in 19th of January 1910 and finally launched on the 18th of November of the same year. Commissioned in October 1911, so it started seeing service just before World War One.
Okay.
Basically, it set itself off, went various places. It didn't really get up to much to start with. It was like tied into the Atlantic Fleet when it first set to work, before eventually going round to the SMS Emden in the Indian Ocean in 1914 after the outbreak of World War One. Didn't find it.
Indian Ocean. It's quite a way out from
it's an hard place to really pin somebody down in as well, if we can quite be. Then in 1915, off the East African coast, it was part of an operation to try and find the SMS Königsberg, another commerce raider who was raiding shipping with the British, eventually trapping it in the Refugee River, where it just kept it there, trapped it until it was eventually sunk.
So where's the Refugee River?
Off the coast of East Africa. Well, it must be in East Africa, should I say. I don't know what country, but it's there somewhere.
It's doing some mileage.
And then transferred to the Adriatic Fleet in December 1915, before eventually returning home in 1916. It then, towards the end of its life in the Mediterranean, where it got torpedoed by an Austrian-Hungarian submarine, the SMU 31, and damaged it. But it got repaired. It survived the war, and then it's very quiet on what happened. And then in 2nd of October 1928, it was sold for scrap. And that was the end of the Weymouth.
Is that the end of the Weymouth? I'm going to say you can continue in a minute after this, but anyway, survivability, Killers 05.
14, vast amount of hit points as well.
It is the highest of all the cruisers, compared to the Dresden 12, Chimuna is 13, and the Albany is a shitter, man, it's 11. Anyway, artillery is the highest out of the 4 so far, which is 3. All the others have got 1. Yes, they have all got 1, but the other problem with this ship, it's got AP, fires AP, which is a problem. Air defences, do we need to bother with air defences? No,
we never do, because in Tier 1 you're not really
manoeuvrability. Have you got any information on the manoeuvrability, Killers 05?
The manoeuvrability maximum speed 26 knots, so it's not the quickest, but it's not fast. It's a bit quicker than the Albanese. 500 metre turning circle and a 6.2 second shift rudder time.
So it turns quite well. And
even though it's large size, its concealment values are quite high as well.
81. Wow.
Which is, they're all in there or thereabouts, apart from the German Dresden, which is the worst out of a lot.
Technically, they're all Tier 1 shitters, to be fair.
There's not really much to be done between both.
Well, shall we get back to the AP issue? This is an issue.
Real issue. No HE rounds. No HE rounds means no fires.
Well, it's very, very difficult to get one on fire, but I don't know if I have, to be fair. But no, this is a trait for the British.
It sounds awesome on paper. 2,800 shell damage. The maximum shell damage.
I've never ever seen that.
But you just, exactly, you just don't get it. 10 kilometre firing range as well, which is pretty good. But again, no dissimilar, so no advantage you've got over those ships at Tier 1.
What was the reload again? It's an awful...
8.6 seconds.
It's awful.
Well, it's better than Chikuma, which is 12.
I think anything's better than that.
Yeah, but it's not exactly Dresden, which is 4. But it's right there with the Albany, which...
Yeah. Albany's about... I don't know which is worse. What do you reckon's worse, the Weymouth?
I mean, the Weymouth, on paper, the Weymouth, it's got hit points-wise 14,200, which is vastly more than you're going to get. I mean, the only one, just Kuma with 13,100 is the only one that gets close to it. It's still 1,100 behind it. So it's got the hit points to play with, like we said before, but the artillery on paper, 2,800 maximum damage with the AP rounds, sounds awesome until you actually try and fire the things
look
and get to do it.
Look at the armour though. Armour profile is 6mm. Wow, I wonder what that is. To 152.
Which is vastly more than you're going to get on any other ships.
Well, the Albany is almost like half, 76.
So, like you say, you look at the Weymouth, it looks like a behemoth.
It's a beast. On paper, it's a beast. I want that Weymouth. It's going to be awesome. But then you get to play it and you think, why do I want to play this Weymouth?
And it just doesn't key off. You just can't. I mean, manoeuvrability wise, it's really up there. It should be a lot
You know what that manoeuvrability does for you? It gets you into trouble quickly. It does, because your AP rounds do not help you. And look at the gun layout as well. It's very difficult with gun layout to drop fire on a ship without. Look at the degreeage I'm pulling to get some guns out. I'm actually turning the ship to test it to show you that it's very difficult to lay down a lot of fire unless you broadside it. And the only way you're going to benefit that is like playing the hard case where you need to go out sideways.
Which is never a good idea.
No.
Especially a ship.
No, it's not a good idea. So
we've got the 10 kilometre range we've got the gun, which is pretty
it's helpful, but it's if you look at the gun layout, I can hardly get any firing because of the angle. So I'm actually having to turn the ship like right angle to try and get them to fire. So AP, obviously, look how slow it is. Look, it's putting a hole in it, but then you go, wait for it to load.
Yeah.
No, it's like
not accurate.
No.
They're not accurate at all.
No.
And they're not doing a great deal of damage either, to be honest with you. Again, on paper, 2,800, this should be slamming tier 1 battleships.
But it's got to hit a precise part of the ship because of the characteristics of the AP goes through the lightly armoured ships. So it doesn't help whatsoever to try. I mean, you got like baby guns. You try to set stuff on fire with your HE, but because this hasn't got any, it struggles.
What damage have you got here so far? Just 6,000?
Yeah, it's like.
I mean, with point blank range here, pretty much. And again, you can see the reload on the gun.
I'm having to broadside him to try and get him to fire the maximum guns as possible, which isn't
you see this
a good
going
idea.
Up quick. When we saw the Dresden video, it was bang, 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 damage, 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 damage. Not a lot, but it racked it up really quickly. We're struggling here to get the damage done. Get it in and laid in.
So I think if you read the statistics of the ships on the tech trees on paper, or obviously screen, but on paper you look at a ship and you go, oh, can't wait to play that. Can't wait to grind this massive line of 6 ships out to get to that. And then you end up with
a start.
This is like a warning.
Historical wise, the Weymouth as a ship it had got a lot of armour profile, and the way it was designed, it was quite topside heavy. The waterline were quite low, which made it sway quite a lot, in the water, which made it a terrible gun platform for the guns. Really hard for the gunners to work because it was constant lolling, because it was so high up. I don't know if that's any kind of factor they've put into the game with the accuracy of the guns or anything like that.
Cool if they did.
It does seem like you're sailing on a mill pond on the game.
Yeah.
I'd love to see some rough sea. Rough sea
like weather
game
variants.
mode. Weather variant. Rough sea.
That'd be
so
cool.
You're bobbing, you're not just constantly floating across this mill pond. You're actually doing some up downs.
Surfing.
Yeah. You've got to kind of navigate your way through the waves as well.
True, because if you don't go into the waves, it will rock your ship, which would eventually affect the way your guns aim.
We're going off on a bit of a tangent there, but we should go back to the nice German flag there. So
go back to the Weymouth.
The Weymouth. You are getting the damage in. You are getting the kills.
Getting the kills, getting a bit of damage.
What's this like if you get it in a tier 2? Say a tier 2 match. What's it like against tier 2 ships? Does it become easier or harder?
You don't see any. It doesn't. No tier 1 ship goes against a tier 2.
Never happens.
Never happens. It's the way it's set up. It's tier 1's like a noob tier where you just fight tier 1s. In tier 2 you see tier 3s.
Yeah.
So it's really. Does that make
some damage in there, aren't you?
See the long range plus the AP. It's 10 kilometres.
You're not doing too bad. That's like your 3rd kill you've got in there. 24,000 damage.
I know, but if we compare it to the Dresden, because that is the best so far.
So you're going to put them in order then? On the final tier 1 thing.
Well, the thing is, we've not got the Russian or the French ones. We're going to have new tier 1s eventually. So this is going to be like old soon. At the moment, I would put it Dresden number 1, Takuma number 2. This has got to be number 3 because the old one is like shocking. This is number 3. Albany's at the bottom.
Is this a user-friendly ship?
No.
I mean, even the Dresden's more user-friendly.
Dresden's awesome. It's very, very, very
I mean, the
user-friendly.
Dresden works both ways, doesn't it? The Dresden works, fire rate is forgiving. Yeah, as in, like, you can get your guns pointed quite easily. You've got fire rate as well, so it's helpful for someone who's struggling to aim because there's a lot of tracer fire that you can adjust your shots better. I mean, I think this is more, looking at it, a lot more skill-based to Weymouth.
Yeah, I think it is.
Because you've got to know where you're going to have to place your shots to the best of your ability. Don't get me wrong, you're not sniping specific areas, if you know what I mean.
The thing is, I've got a habit of, when I've got a rapid-fire system, I keep my finger on the trigger and then I line it up while it's still firing.
Yeah.
You shouldn't really do that. You should take one shot, adjust it, one shot, adjust it.
And you can see you're struggling to get them guns facing again.
Yeah, I'm trying to point my armour towards him and I can't get any guns on him, so I'm forced to turn.
Well, you've survived. I mean, you've not took that much damage as such,
I didn't really notice that.
You've not had that much of a punishment. And it's not like you've not been mixing it up.
Makes a change, to be honest.
I mean, you see the damage. It sounds so much, 2,800 of voice, just not happening
Never,
though, is it?
ever. I'd love to do that with one shot, to be honest. Ammo rack, possibly. I didn't actually set him on fire, it's a shame. See me scoreboard at the top, no fires.
Yeah, never killed that.
And it finished. Yeah. But I wouldn't, it's not my best go-to tier 1. The Weymouth.
Fun or anything like that?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing, Killer 05. There's nothing fun about the Weymouth at all. It's very similar to the Albany. I think if you played the Albany, you'd go, oh, I want the Weymouth, it looks good. No, don't do it. Go Dresden.
You've got to do it at some point.
Well, yeah,
it's
true.
The start.
Anyway, Killers 05, we run over. That's it then, people. Stay tuned for the next installment, Tier 2.